Before Will Smith became a global superstar, he was just a kid from Philadelphia trying to escape a broken home. Willard Carroll Smith Jr. was born on September 25, 1968, in West Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. His father, Willard Smith Sr., was a refrigeration engineer, strict, disciplined, and emotionally distant. His mother, Caroline Bright, was a school administrator, caring, protective, and emotionally present. Growing up, Will often lived between love and fear. His parents' marriage was troubled, and domestic conflict was a constant reality. Later in life, Will admitted those childhood experiences shaped his deep desire to protect people and to be liked. Will attended Overbrook High School, where he quickly became known for two things: his sharp sense of humor and his natural charisma. He was intelligent, scoring high on standardized tests, and was even offered a scholarship opportunity to attend MIT. But Will made a bold decision. He turned it down. Because deep inside, he believed his future was not in engineering, but in entertainment. In the mid-1980s, Will entered the hip-hop world under the name The Fresh Prince. Alongside DJ Jazzy Jeff, he created playful, clean, story-driven rap music, something very different from the aggressive street rap dominating the charts at that time. And it worked. Songs like Parents Just Don't Understand and Summertime turned Will Smith into a Grammy-winning rapper before the age of 22. But fame came faster than financial wisdom. Will spent money recklessly, cars, jewelry, lifestyle, without understanding taxes. By the early 1990s, the IRS came knocking. Will owed nearly $3 million. Almost overnight, the young rap star was close to bankruptcy. Desperate for stability, Will accepted an unexpected opportunity: a television sitcom, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. The show was loosely based on his real life. A street-smart kid from Philadelphia dropped into a wealthy California family. What started as a financial rescue soon became a cultural phenomenon. Week after week, Will Smith's charm, comedic timing, and emotional depth connected with millions of viewers. The show didn't just save him financially, it made him a household name. During this period, Will married Cherise Zampino. They welcomed a son, Trey Smith. But balancing fame, marriage, and personal growth proved difficult. The relationship eventually ended, leaving Will with emotional scars he would carry for years. As the sitcom gained popularity, Hollywood began to notice. Will made his film debut in 6 Degrees of Separation. Critics were surprised. This wasn't just a rapper acting, this was real talent. Then came 1995, Bad Boys. Paired with Martin Lawrence, Will Smith exploded onto the big screen. The film was a box office hit, and Hollywood had a new leading man. Will Smith had officially arrived. By the mid-1990s, Will Smith wasn't just famous anymore. He was becoming unstoppable. After the success of Bad Boys, Hollywood saw something rare in Will Smith: charisma, confidence, and the ability to sell a movie on his name alone. But Will didn't want to be just another action star. He wanted longevity, respect, and global impact. In 1996, Will Smith made a career-defining decision. He turned down a lead role in a big sci-fi film and chose another one instead: Independence Day. The movie became a massive global success, earning over $800 million worldwide. And suddenly, Will Smith wasn't just America's favorite actor, he was a global movie star. Will carefully built his image. He played heroes who were funny, brave, emotionally approachable, and family-friendly. Parents trusted him, kids admired him, studios depended on him. Then came 1997, Men in Black, a risky mix of sci-fi, comedy, and action, but Will Smith made it work. The movie became a franchise, and the theme song topped music charts. Will Smith had now conquered movies, music, and pop culture. By the late 1990s, Will Smith became known as the 4th of July King. Studios released his films during America's biggest holiday weekend because his movies guaranteed success. During this rise, Will married actress Jada Pinkett in 1997. Together, they became one of Hollywood's most talked about power couples. They represented success, ambition, and modern celebrity culture. But Will Smith wanted more than box office hits. He wanted to be taken seriously as an actor. In 2001, he took a huge risk: Ali. Will transformed his body, his voice, and his mindset to portray Muhammad Ali. The performance shocked critics. Will earned his first Academy Award nomination. After Ali, Will mastered a rare balance: blockbuster entertainment and serious drama. Films like I, Robot, Hitch, and The Pursuit of Happyness proved his range. In The Pursuit of Happyness, acting alongside his son Jaden, Will delivered one of the most emotional performances of his career. The role earned him another Oscar nomination and massive public admiration. By the late 2000s, Will Smith was untouchable. He was one of the highest-paid actors in the world. Every studio wanted him. Every movie opened big. Will Smith had achieved what very few actors ever do: total Hollywood dominance. At the peak of his power, Will Smith began losing the one thing that built his career: control. By the early 2010s, cracks were beginning to appear in Will Smith's perfect image. Some films underperformed, critics became harsher, audiences became less forgiving. Will was no longer Hollywood's guaranteed box office machine. At the same time, his personal life became a public conversation. His marriage with Jada Pinkett Smith was constantly under scrutiny. Rumors, headlines, judgment. Will later admitted he was struggling internally, questioning his identity, his masculinity, and his purpose. Then came March 27, 2022, the Academy Awards, live television, millions watching.
Now, if she loses, he can't win!
When comedian Chris Rock made a joke about Jada, something inside Will snapped. Will Smith walked onto the stage and slapped Chris Rock. The room froze. The world froze. In one moment, decades of goodwill were shattered. Minutes later, Will Smith won the Oscar for Best Actor for his role in King Richard, but the victory felt hollow. The backlash was immediate. The Academy banned Will Smith from attending the Oscars for 10 years. Studios paused projects. Brands stepped back. Hollywood, the place he once ruled, went quiet. Will issued public apologies. He admitted his actions were wrong, but words alone couldn't repair the damage. For the first time in decades, Will Smith stepped away from the spotlight. This was his lowest point. Not financially, not professionally, but spiritually. Instead of fighting the backlash, Will chose reflection, therapy, self-work, and accountability. He publicly acknowledged that fame had protected him from consequences for too long. Slowly, Will Smith began planning a return, not as a perfect hero, but as a flawed human being. New projects were chosen carefully. Fewer interviews, less noise. The public response remains divided. Some believe he deserves forgiveness. Others say trust, once broken, is hard to rebuild. Will Smith's story is no longer about success. It's about accountability, growth, and redemption. The question is no longer whether Will Smith can make a comeback, but whether the world is ready to forgive him.